While Dubai builds record-breaking skyscrapers and Saudi Arabia plans trillion-dollar megacities, one Middle Eastern nation is quietly revolutionizing urban development with a completely different approach. Oman is investing $5 billion in smart cities that challenge everything we think we know about modern urban planning. But before we dive into this fascinating story, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell, because you won't want to miss what comes next. Picture this: a nation deliberately choosing not to build tall when they absolutely could. It is a country that prioritizes sustainability over spectacle, community over competition. This isn't just about construction. This is about reimagining what cities should be in the 21st century. And the results might surprise you. Let me take you back to 1970. Oman had just 10 kilometers of paved roads across the entire country. Most people lived without electricity, and clean water was a luxury. The nation was one of the most isolated places on Earth. But when Sultan Qaboos took power, he made a decision that would shape the country's future forever. Instead of copying Western-style development like his neighbors, he chose a different path entirely. While other Gulf nations raced to build the tallest, the biggest, the most expensive, Oman focused on something else: harmony. Every building in the capital, Muscat, was designed to blend with the coastal cliffs and mountains. Visitors today say it feels more like Switzerland than the Middle East, and that's exactly the point. The tallest building in Muscat today is just 16 stories high, and it wasn't even built until 2016. To put that in perspective, Dubai had taller buildings back in the 1970s. But here's the thing about Oman's approach: it wasn't about lacking ambition or resources. It was about having a completely different vision of what progress should look like. And now, 50 years later, that vision is being put to the ultimate test. Oman faces a critical challenge that will determine its entire future. Oil and gas make up 50% of the country's GDP and 70% of government revenue. But global oil demand could peak as soon as 2030. The clock is ticking faster than anyone expected. Add to this a population explosion from 4.5 million to 8.5 million by 2040, and you have a recipe for either disaster or transformation. Oman chose transformation. Their response is called Vision 2040, and it's unlike anything you've seen before. This isn't just about building new cities. It's about completely rebuilding an entire economy while staying true to traditional values. They spent years consulting. Everyone from business leaders in Muscat's marketplaces to fishermen in coastal villages. The message was clear. People wanted progress, but not at the cost of their identity. The first major project emerging from this vision is Sultan Haitham City, and it's already redefining what smart cities can be. Forget everything you know about Middle Eastern megaprojects. There are no artificial islands, no robot police, no flying taxis. Instead, you're looking at 19 neighborhoods spread across an area 3 times the size of Central Park. These neighborhoods might look traditional, but they're packed with cutting-edge technology that puts most Western cities to shame. Muscat has already proven this concept works. They're installing over 13,000 smart LED streetlights that reduce energy usage by up to 85%. Sultan Haitham City is taking this idea even further, with a citywide network of sensors monitoring everything from air quality to traffic flow in real time. The data doesn't just get collected, it gets used to optimize everything from waste collection routes to emergency response times. Instead of cramming everyone into high-rises, they're creating 20,000 new homes of different sizes and styles, but in buildings that don't block the mountain views. Each home is positioned to create natural shade and catch the breeze, reducing cooling costs by up to 60%. This isn't just smart design, it's brilliant design. But here's where it gets really interesting. They're turning a 7.5-kilometer riverbed into a massive central park covering 1.6 million square meters. During the dry season, it's a recreational paradise with walking trails and community spaces. When the rains come, this same space acts as a natural flood management system, protecting surrounding neighborhoods while conserving precious water resources. It's infrastructure that serves multiple purposes, adapting to the natural rhythms of the desert climate. The university campus sits next to innovation centers, creating a knowledge ecosystem where students, researchers, and entrepreneurs work together. The 39 schools are strategically placed so every child can walk to class safely. Even the 25 mosques are positioned at just the right distances for daily prayers. There's a 200-bed hospital, world-class sports facilities, and commercial areas specifically designed to support local businesses rather than international chains. The transportation network is equally revolutionary. Networks of pedestrian paths and bicycle lanes connect everything, while a planned mass transit system will link the new city to Old Muscat. Cars aren't banned, but they're not the primary focus either. This is urban planning that puts people first, not vehicles. This massive 4-phase project is taking a deliberately measured approach. The first phase covers about 5 million square meters and includes 6 modern neighborhoods with around 6,700 homes, ranging from detached villas to apartments. Construction began last year, with completion expected by 2030. The remaining phases will be finished by 2045, creating space for around 100,000 people. But Sultan Haitham City is just the beginning. In the heart of Muscat, something completely different is taking shape. The Khuwair downtown project represents a $1.3 billion investment designed by the legendary Zaha Hadid architects. This waterfront development is one of the few exceptions to Muscat's height restrictions, allowing buildings up to 150 meters tall. That might sound modest compared to Dubai's 800-meter giants, but it's perfectly suited to Oman's philosophy of human-scale development. The entire development spans 3.6 million square meters and tackles one of the most challenging problems in desert urban planning. How do you balance ancient wadis, those natural desert waterways, with modern canals and waterfront development? Their solution is something called green and blue infrastructure. The natural wadis feed into a network of waterways, while highways are transformed into green corridors. The development flows seamlessly to the coast, where carefully designed beaches and dunes protect the natural shoreline from erosion and storm damage. Instead of demolishing existing structures, they're taking a sustainable approach to the ministry. Campus. Existing government buildings will be retrofitted and refurbished, prioritizing material reuse and recycled construction materials. This approach reduces construction waste by over 70% while preserving the architectural heritage of the area. The transportation network here is equally innovative. Light rail, water taxis, and cycling paths create a multimodal system designed to work even in Muscat's intense heat. Underground walkways and covered passages ensure that residents can move comfortably year-round. Construction begins at the end of 2024, starting with essential infrastructure like healthcare and education facilities. But perhaps the most ambitious project is happening along the Gulf of Oman's coast. The Yiti Development is designed to be the largest sustainable community in the Middle East, a city that produces as much clean energy as it uses. 93% of the infrastructure is already in place, and the first wave of homes sold out immediately. The whole community will be operational by 2026, making it not just the largest sustainable development in the region, but possibly the most ambitious on the planet. Every building in Yiti runs on renewable energy generated on-site through a combination of solar panels, wind turbines, and geothermal systems. Waste doesn't end up in landfills. Instead, it gets converted into energy through advanced processing facilities. But perhaps the most remarkable feature is the food system. 80% of the food consumed in Yiti will be grown right there in the city using vertical farms and hydroponic systems that use 90% less water than traditional agriculture. Electric buggies and shared e-bikes replace cars on most streets, while advanced urban farms use artificial intelligence and robotics to grow food year-round. The ultimate goal is to reduce residents' carbon footprints by 78% compared to typical housing developments. This isn't just sustainable living. This is regenerative living that actually improves the environment. These projects represent more than just construction. They represent a fundamental shift in how we think about economic development. With oil revenues projected to decline over the next 20 years, Oman is rapidly diversifying its economy with tourism as one of the main focal points. The country has managed to keep its traditional markets thriving while building the modern infrastructure needed to welcome visitors from around the world. The results speak for themselves. In 2023, over 3 million tourists visited Oman, a 41% increase from the previous year. They're coming for the mountains, ancient ports, and traditions that stretch back centuries. By 2040, tourism alone should contribute 10% to the economy, backed by $51 billion in new investment. Projects like the $2.4 billion mountain tourism development at Jabal al-Akhdar show the scope of this transformation. At 2,400 meters above sea level, it will be a complete mountain community with its own wellness village, positioned higher than anywhere else in Oman. The development will house 8,000 residents and welcome over 4,000 visitors daily, all while maintaining the pristine mountain environment that makes it special. But tourism is just one piece of a much larger transformation. Oman is opening up new opportunities for women in the workplace, changing how government operates by giving local communities more control over their future, and investing heavily in education and technology. $33 billion worth of new construction projects are in the pipeline, but it's not just about the showcase developments. Across the country, smaller projects are taking shape that connect remote communities, modernize ports, and update traditional industries like fishing and agriculture with new technology. Smart irrigation systems are transforming desert agriculture, while blockchain technology is revolutionizing supply chains for traditional crafts and products. The success of Oman's approach depends on recognizing that sustainable development isn't just about environmental protection. It's about creating communities that work for the people who live there. Every project incorporates extensive community consultation, ensuring that development serves local needs rather than external investors. This human-centered approach extends to workforce development as well. The entire school system is being rebuilt to train the next generation for future skills, including creativity, problem-solving, and modern technologies like artificial intelligence, blockchain, and robotics. At the same time, traditional skills and crafts are being preserved and integrated into the modern economy. The government is restructuring to promote sustainable resource management and create what they call a circular economy, where waste becomes a resource. This isn't just policy. It's a fundamental reimagining of how society and economy can work together sustainably. What makes Oman's approach truly revolutionary is how it challenges the conventional wisdom about development in resource-rich countries. Instead of rushing to extract maximum value in the shortest time, they're building for the long term. Instead of copying successful models from other countries, they're creating something uniquely suited to their culture and environment. The early results suggest this approach is working. International investors are taking notice. Sustainable development experts are studying Oman's methods, and most importantly, the Omani people are embracing the vision. The first residents of these new communities report higher satisfaction levels, lower living costs, and stronger community connections than traditional developments. As these projects near completion over the next decade, they will provide crucial data about whether sustainable, human-scale development can compete economically with conventional megaprojects. The implications extend far beyond Oman, offering a potential model for countries around the world facing similar challenges of resource dependence, population growth, and climate change. Oman's $5 billion bet on sustainable smart cities represents more than just urban planning. It represents a different philosophy about what progress should look like in the 21st century. Instead of building the tallest or the biggest, they're building the smartest and most sustainable. Instead of prioritizing short-term profits, they're investing in long-term prosperity. Instead of imposing external models, they're creating something authentically their own. The question now is whether this approach will inspire other nations to reconsider their own development strategies, or whether Oman will remain a fascinating exception in a world still obsessed with bigger, taller, and more expensive. What we do know is that Oman is proving that there's more than one way to build the future, and their way might just be the most promising path forward for sustainable development in the modern world. The success of these projects could reshape how we think about urban development globally, proving that sustainability and prosperity aren't competing goals, but complementary strategies for building better communities. As climate change and resource scarcity become increasingly urgent challenges worldwide, Oman's patient, thoughtful approach to development offers hope that we can build a better future without sacrificing the values and environments that make life worth living. What do you think about Oman's unique approach to smart city development? Could this model work in other countries facing similar challenges? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more insights into the world's most innovative urban development projects.